Ready?
We can win 14.
Oh, hold on, I'm not ready yet.
Oh my God.
I'm really
Are you
nervous.
ready?
Alright, I'm ready. Okay. Hello, my name is Tyler, and today I will be giving a speech on how to throw a curveball. The two most determining factors in how good your curveball is the grip that you hold on the ball and your wrist movement. Reasons for throwing a curveball is to, 1, upset the hitter's timing. Curveball is an off-speed pitch. It's generally 10 to 15 miles an hour slower than your fastball. So if you threw 85 mile an hour fastball, your curveball would be between 70 and 75 on average. Another reason for the curveball is effective is because it appears to be in one spot and then moves to the other. A curveball can be thrown for a strike or also thrown to appear as a strike and then move out of the strike zone. If you throw the curveball higher, your objective is usually for it to break lower in the strike zone. You don't want it to not break enough and end up what you call a hanging curveball, which doesn't break enough and it lands right on the top of the strike zone. Another way to throw it is if you throw it lower in the strike zone, hoping that it drops and breaks down to the ground, and the hitter will swing and miss it with it being out of the strike zone. Break is the movement on the pitch. It's usually 6 to 12 inches on average. Okay, now how to throw a curveball. The first thing in any pitch is the windup. The windup, if you're right-handed, you start with your left side of your body. So you either take your left foot and leg and you move it over or back. There's two different ways you can do it. But whichever way is more comfortable, it's not too specific on that. You start the windup. When you move your body over, and then you put your foot on the rubber. You're not going to want to keep it on top of the rubber. You're going to want to use the rubber of the pitching mound to push and explode your body forward. Some people put it all the way flat to where the mound is their foot is directly in front of the mound, and then some people even have a little bit of their foot on top of the rubber, but you want to use that to push your body forward. The second thing in the wind-up after you have your foot planted is the leg kick. The leg kick is generally whatever feels most natural. You don't want it too high to throw yourself off balance, or you don't want it not enough to where you can't get enough velocity on the ball, but you want to be very balanced and you want to have a good center core of gravity. Once you put your leg up, then you extend out and kind of like push yourself off the mound. Your arm is just there to orchestrate the pitch. You don't want to be throwing everything with your arm and shoulder. You want to use your thighs and your abs to really turn your body in and around. You want to keep your arm when you're throwing right before you release the ball, and as you begin to start throwing at just over a 90-degree angle. You want to keep the ball and your hand on the outside of your elbow. You don't want to throw any pitches to where the ball is close to your head or on the inside of your elbow. The way you want to grip the curveball, there's two different ways that you can grip it. You can either have your thumb on the lace here, whereas both of your middle finger and your thumb are on the inside of the lace. That's the most important thing when throwing a curveball. You can also hold it to where it's in the middle of your two fingers. You want to make sure there's a little, what they call daylight, in between the ball and your hand. You don't want to choke the ball like this. That's going to slow your pitch down and it's going to affect the break. You want there to be a little window. Not quite as much as if there was a fastball, not that big of a gap, but definitely want to have a little bit of a gap. As your arm is coming down, you want to pull into your body and turn your wrist just like so to pull in, just like you're pulling down a shade or something like that. The fastball, when it comes off your hands, is going to come just like this. So the curveball is going to do the opposite. So when you're throwing the fastball, you wind up, you throw it, it's going to come out like that. The curveball does the opposite. You put the curveball grip on there, whatever one you'd like to use. You just want to make sure you have a finger on the inside of the lace. When you come down, you pull it through, and the ball will literally come out of your hand like this. The harder that you pull down, the faster the ball will be, but the more spin it'll have. And the more spin generates the most most break that you can get. So that's what I got for my speech.
High five, that's right.
All right.
Good job.